We were just looking better today. That's best wishes from Julia, David and Kevin from County Antrim. Mel Gedroych with us later, and from Simple Minds, Jim Kerr. Jim Kerr. No, we were just talking about Jimmy Carr. And also the non-stop oldies chosen by Martin Williams in Wetherby, North Yorkshire.
BBC News at 3 o'clock. This is Nikki Cardwell. The government's confirmed that it will press ahead with its economic plans, despite the pound sinking to record lows against the dollar. Sterling has partially recovered, but remains weak at $1.08. It briefly fell to $1.03 this morning. The pound was already sliding, but plummeted when the markets reopened after the government set out plans on Friday for big tax cuts and high levels of borrowing. Our global trade correspondent Darshini David explains what the drop means.
When it gets lower, it does mean that prices go up for a number of things, not just the things we buy from America, which is 1 in 6 pounds of all our imports, but also things like oil, like other commodities, metals, for example. They are priced in dollars. So prices go up. It gets more expensive to visit countries like the US. But also, when we're talking about prices going up, that tends to mean higher interest rates.
Labour has pledged to renationalise the railways if it wins the next election. The party has been setting out its plans at its conference in Liverpool. The Shadow Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, promised to bring back the top rate of income tax, which the government said last week it would scrap, and spend the money raised on hiring more NHS workers. Greater Manchester's Labour Mayor Andy Burnham says he expects his party to win the next election.
I think this feels like a get ready for government conference. I think there's a lot of optimism around, and Keir's put us in a position where we can now go on now and be the government. This is the first conference in the last 12 years where we're coming here, and I think there is an odds-on chance that we will have a Labour government or a Labour-led government within 1 to 2 years.
Doncaster Sheffield Airport is to close after its owner said no tangible proposals had been received regarding its future ownership. The airport flies to destinations including the Canary Islands, Balearics, Greece and Turkey. It'll wind down from the end of next month. At least 13 people, including 7 children, have been killed in a shooting at a school in Russia. Officials said the gunman was a former pupil at the school in the city of Ishevsk. A spokeswoman for the Russian Investigative Committee, Svetlana Petrenko, gave details of the attack at a press conference.
According to preliminary data, there are 13 victims as a result of this crime, including 6 adults and 7 minors. 14 children and 7 adults were injured. Information on the dead and wounded is being clarified. The attacker committed suicide. It has been established that he was wearing a black T-shirt with Nazi symbols and a balaclava.
A member of the House of Lords has told a court in London that he should avoid a mandatory driving ban because he needs his car to arrange the King's coronation. The Duke of Norfolk, who also helped organise Queen Elizabeth II's funeral, pleaded guilty to using his mobile phone and running a red light in April. But his lawyer asked the judge not to ban him because of what she called an extremely peculiar situation. BBC News, it's 3 minutes past 3.
Thank you.
Listen live on the BBC Sounds app.
Yes, here come the oldies.
BBC Radio 2. Steve Ray in the afternoon.
Now, the non-stop oldies brought to you daily by Steve Wright in the afternoon.